from Reeves Field, semifinal number 2 as the Loyola Greyhounds take on the Colgate Raiders. Alongside Bruce Murray, I'm Nick Pappas bringing today's action and a big one with the winner heading to face American on Sunday.
Yeah, very difficult conditions today. The wind's up. Two great teams played in the semifinal before us, and it's going to be interesting to see how these teams handle the conditions.
And we'll take a look at the Patriot League bracket and how the teams got here. Loyola comes in as the 2 seed with a first-round bye, and Colgate defeating Army in the quarterfinal. So we'll take a look back at that game between the Raiders and the Black Knights. And it was all Ethan Cutler. 3 goals by the senior, including 2 PKs, but Army went down fighting with taking a lead. They came back, the Raiders came back, but then a big save late on by Ricky Brown kept the Raiders alive. And some big players in this lineup for both teams. Who are you really going to be looking out for today?
I think Brian Sariago for Loyola and Ethan Cutler. It's up to those guys, great players who are big-time goal scorers. These are the guys that step in for games like this as well.
And Ethan Cutler, the big guy for the Raiders, but also Zach Tommen, the Patriot League Defender of the Year, did very well all season and was a first-team all-league selection. And as you mentioned, Brian Saramago, Rookie of the Year, 10 goals to his name, and he'll be looking for more today. And Coach Steve Nichols, Coach of the Year, turning this program around, their first Patriot League tournament appearance since joining the league about 4 years ago. So he's done a great thing, taking the team from last in the league last year to number 2 in the regular season. So we'll be back with first half action after this on the Patriot League Network. Back here on the Patriot League Network as we take a look at the second-seeded Loyola Greyhounds. Again, alongside Bruce Murray, I'm Nick Pappas. And we'll get started today by taking a quick look at today's keys to the game. As you mentioned earlier, the wind's definitely going to be a factor. But it'll also be important for Loyola to get it to the wide guys. Take a look at the stats from the regular season. And 22 goals for the Greyhounds, 27 for the Colgate Raiders. Just about dead even on goals allowed, and shots much in favor of Colgate. Now we'll take a look at the starting lineups for both sides. First for the Raiders, as we see the coin toss by the official today. Ricky Brown, who had a huge save in goal the other day, will start in net for them, and Ethan Cutler, the key man. But Zach Pagani, also a very big target up top. And for the for the Greyhounds, it's going to be Brian Saramago to lead the line up top. And Ryan Tuck, who was a sound defender all year. Lauren Vogel at the back today. Nico Brown and Brian Sharifi offering width in this 4-3-3 system.
Yeah, Nick, it's a great group. When they get the ball wide and run at people with the ball, they're a real danger. Colgate's got to be aware of that.
Both teams did play here this season. This is not their first time this season on Reeves Field. For the Raiders, it was a 3-0 loss in the conference opener to American, their last time here. And for the Greyhounds, they won 1-0 early on in conference play.
Well, it's going to be interesting today, Nick, to see which team can adjust to the conditions quickly. The wind is definitely up and calling for more wind in the afternoon, so clearly the ball on the deck is going to be the way to play.
Both teams do like to play on the ground, so I think they won't complain about having to do so. And as the teams get in their huddles, final words from their captains.
And I think the captains are telling the player, listen, it's one and done. I mean, if you lose, you're out, and you just want to keep winning each week into the NCAA tournament if you can. For some of these seniors, it could be their last competitive experience. So the first semifinal was absolutely played at a blistering pace, and I expect no less, Nick, on this final as well.
And it is the first Patriot League tournament appearance for the Greyhounds. What do you think that says for them? They really can come out and prove themselves in the Patriot League this year.
Especially last year with no league wins. I mean, Steve Nichols is a master recruiter, and he's picked up some really good players, and they're on their way.
Sent long, first ball by the Raiders, as played back to Sanchez, who clears it away.
Sanchez, goalkeeper of the year in the Patriot League, has a great season.
It was down to him or the Boston University keeper, Matt Gilbert, for that award, and it did go to Sanchez, as he, as you said, has had a fantastic season. Oberg sends it wide. And Vogel called for the foul, so it'll be a free kick now for the Greyhounds.
And that's a silly foul by Vogel, because Colgate is a big team. Just watching them get off the bus today was it looked like a football team. So you don't want to give them any free kick opportunities, especially this early in the game.
Omar Umaligian, the guy that they're going to be looking for in the box, 6'5", as it's served in. Good service, but Sanchez off his line to claim that one.
Great quick serve by Sanchez. Again, this game also going off at a blistering pace.
Carlson sends this one up, finds Sharifi, will back heel to Brown. Carlson. Service into the box, and a good opportunity early on.
And that's what Sharifi brings to the table. Get it wide. He will get at people. He's not afraid to run at you with the ball.
Batista. Too much pace on that ball by Carlson.
Colgate playing low pressure, maybe sitting back behind the ball a little bit. And you see more and more of that in the modern game.
Oh, we saw it in the last semifinal. Bucknell went up early and tried to just send them back and pack it in, but it did not work. Nico Brown. I just realized it's going to get good and confusing. We've got Nico Brown for the Greyhounds and Carl Brown and Ricky Brown, both for Colgate. Ball sent wide to Vogel. Lauren Vogel played his first few years as a forward. Zach Pagani. Good step by Batista. That one's going to stay in. Foul called, though, against Carlson. A little late on the challenge.
Well, Nick, with these, you've got Vogel and Sharifi on the wings. It's a really dangerous combination. The middle of the field, clearly, those players can just take off and run into the box and load the box, because these guys know how to break containment and get crosses in.
Long throw now. Jared Stroud.
And this is what Colgate will bring: long throws, knockdowns, things like that. And you got to deal with them. If you don't deal with them, they'll end up in the back of your own net.
Stroud still on the ball. And it's cleared by the Colgate back line, or excuse me, by the Loyola back line. Flicked on, Pagani in, Sanchez off his line to pick that one up. Foul called against Barry Sharifi. Goldsmith sends that one up. Cutler trying to turn the corner, and it's put out of play. Ryan Tuck, another all-league defender.
Another opportunity for Colgate to chuck it in the box, get a knockdown, see if they can scramble it home.
The one thing I think that's going against them on these long throws, the time they take to get them set up, they're really allowing Loyola to get settled in. Umaligian back to Oberg. Oberg with a shot! And Sanchez made the initial save, bobbled it, but able to use some core strength to pop back up and back on top of it.
Great shot by Oberg through traffic. Almost impossible for goalkeepers to recognize. Sanchez did a great job of seeing that at the last second.
Tim Oberg with a good tackle there. From right up the road, Tim Oberg, Bethesda, Maryland guy, went to Sidwell Friends, just about a mile and a half from American University, so his family will definitely be in attendance today. As Sharifi sends out one looking for Saramago, and Umaligian comes out and gets that one.
Yeah, Saramago's got to get into the game early, put himself about. Not a guy that likes to be stationary, likes to move around.
Cutler. Flag up offside against Pagani.
Loyola staff is trying to implore the players to slow the pace down. It's a, as I said earlier, a blistering pace, just like the first semifinal. Which team's going to be able to stay with this pace?
Long ball by Sanchez. Nico Brown keeps it in play. Troy Mupen. Vogel, tons of space if he played that ball early into Saramago. Well, outside the football, looking for Carlson. Back heel by Cutler. Colin O'Neill with the giveaway. Batista.
It's interesting, Nick, here on this right side with Vogel and Sharifi. It's almost like Vogel's a wing back and Sharifi can tuck inside and Vogel can get down the line. So that's something that Colgate's got to really be cognizant of.
As I mentioned, he did play his first couple of years as a forward. So he's definitely capable of getting up and serving the ball into the box. No pressure on Sanchez, gives him plenty of time to find the ball. And that one was looking again for Nico Brown. Batista. Big slide challenge as Cutler looked to be away.
Great tackle, Cutler. Always on the prowl, looking for a little edge.
Cutler off the post. That really shows you what Ethan Cutler brings to the table.
What a strike by Cutler. All over the place. He's right, he's left, he's sniffing around. He's a real sniffer. He's a goal scorer. He'll dig balls out in the box. Kid's got a real nose for the goal.
And you do see him left, right, and center, as you said. At that time, starting out wide on the right and coming back in through the center of the park. Now he's out on the left.
You got to spy him the whole game.
That was something Steve Nichols was saying the other day about how they man-marked him 2 years ago and it didn't work. Harris called for the foul, clipped the heel of Lauren Vogel. sent up looking for Nico Brown.
Loyola coach is asking for patience. Silly giveaways.
Diving in like that too is not the way to get anything going, and it's out for a Colgate throw.
Get this out.
Long throw on the opposite side now.
Another opportunity for a knockdown. Big Zach Tammon.
Headed on, Oberg, volley, flicked on and just wide, but out for a corner.
So right away you see that's what Colgate likes to do. They like to get the ball out of bounds, long throw-ins, launch it into the box, and there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, you have to deal with that as a player. And if it works for them, it works for them.
One thing I wouldn't be shocked to see as the game goes on, long throw, long throw, long throw. They're leaving the short throw open every time.
Yeah, that's correct. So they're setting that up.
Stroud again with the long throw. Out to the front of the six, flicked on by Pagani, header and Cutler over the bar.
It's gonna be dangerous all game for Loyola. They've got to see every one of those out. If they don't, then it could end up at the back of their own net. It's impressive so far. Zach Tammon there in the middle from the Moret School here in Washington. He looks like a Premier League defender. If you look at him, it's a big boy.
Let's go, play short!
Flicked on by Carlson. Saramago looking for Brown, can't find him. Freshman pair of Saramago and Sharifi, both coming from the Red Bull Academy. So they've played together before and they've been tearing it up together now at Loyola, Maryland.
And it gives them more experience. They're not really freshmen coming in. These guys have real world experience in terms of playing with high level competition.
Stroud now with the corner kick. Poor service, but still bouncing around. Second ball in. Another wayward ball, but out for another corner. Do it again.
This is exactly the start that Colgate wanted, and it's definitely not the start that Loyola wants to see. But as long as they see all this out, then they can get into their rhythm, and then they can play a little bit.
And it's a goal for Colgate! Bounced around in the box. And just like that, the Raiders are on top in the 13th minute.
Ethan Cutler, Johnny on the spot, as usual.
That's his fourth in the Patriot League tournament. 3 against Army West Point, 2 from the spot in that game.
But that's the kind of player that Ethan Cutler is. He's always around the ball. And when you send balls in the box and throw-ins, he's the guy that's going to sniff it out and put it away. Just a real opportunistic goal for Cutler.
And just like we saw in the previous semifinal, the higher seed trails inside the first 15 minutes. And with that goal, Cutler has tied a Patriot League record for 4 goals in a single tournament. Lomeg there. And a free kick for the Greyhounds in a dangerous area. The last time a player scored 4 goals in 2 games in the tournament was AJ Florkowski for Army back in 1996. Carlson standing over it for the Greyhounds. Serves the front post, diving header. Ball still in the box. Can't get it clear now. Colgate just doing anything to hook it up the line. They'll send it out for a throw-in.
Good sustained pressure from Loyola.
Carlson, the transfer. Came from USF.
Loyola is going to work very hard to make sure that they press the ball if they lose it in this end, because they want to keep the chances coming in the box.
Sharifi's service cleared away.
So, Nick, I don't think it's any surprise that Colgate is going to play a little bit of the bang and chase, and Loyola's going to try and play the better football. But at the end of the day, Loyola's got to deal with the stuff that comes in the box.
Well, and when you're a goal up, you can play a little kick and run.
That's
when
right.
You've got a guy with the pace of Ethan Cutler, too, to run onto it.
That's exactly right.
Ober jumps a little too early, but Carlson heads it out. Another throw-in for the Raiders. Move pen dummies that one, and good choice to do so. Umaligian tearing forward. He'll draw the foul first for the tug on the shirt, but it's taken quickly. And this is what Loyola won't want to see. They've got a couple players just getting beaten and grabbing at the defender.
And Oberg's doing a really good job of playing that central role of the 6. He's connecting through him.
Little fun fact about him, he actually played right back over the summer for DC United U23, so he's definitely capable of defending as well.
Yeah, having these opportunities for these guys is tremendous because they come back a better player.
Long throw again. And cleared away. Looks to catch one of the little defenders off guard. And Sharifi now with the counterattack opportunity. Saramago in the box. Sharifi one-on-one, takes it to the outside. Sharifi cuts it back. Saramago shot, and a big save by Ricky Brown.
Saramago would love to have that one back. Great save by Ricky Brown, but Saramago must do better with that opportunity in the box. Better from Loyola.
What a ball from Sharifi to play that one in, and a good turn, just not the final finish.
Loyola with great wing play with Sharifi and Brown out wide left.
Carlson, the right-footed in-swinger for the Greyhounds.
Loyola's going to try some type of stunt. Front post guys get to the back to the front, try and cross over defenders and pick them off.
Create some space. If that ball found Tuck, he was wide open. And it's headed out for another corner.
The referees have really been cracking down on players infringing in the box on corner kicks. So now there has to be a lot more movement, a lot more motion, trying to pick defenders off, have them run into each other in order to get yourself open. So just we'll see what kind of twist they have here.
A few years ago, you might be able to just push the guy out of the way. Now you've actually got to beat him.
That's correct.
Ball to the back post. Still possession with Loyola. Vogel just going to send that one up. Ball in looking for Sharifi!
Ever so close.
Ricky Brown going to take his time. Side volley. Good ball to find a teammate.
But now we see Saramago getting into the game a little bit, making himself more active.
Nico Brown on the chase. Ricky Brown off his line for it.
You can see now with Nico Brown's pace, anything long and diagonal is going to be a real problem for Colgate.
As I said before, all these guys, the last name Browns, can get a little confusing.
Yeah, but Nick, you can handle it.
Headed on now, Pagani trying to get around Vogel, can't do so, cleared away. And again, Stroud drops to Mupan. What looks like a 3-5-2 for Colgate. Sharifi. A little 1-2 there with Saramago. Saramago in, shot, and another big save. Ricky Brown comes up on top again.
Again, Saramago, so dangerous, showing up in all spots.
Well, what an idea to back heel that one and then run on for the 1-2.
That was a great little back heel. Gets the 1-2. Again, he'd like to have it back, but it was a great save by Ricky Brown. Can't be denied.
Troy Mupen clearly still hurt, stays down, but gets up to help defend as he knows that Loyola is going to have a good counterattacking opportunity, and a foul called against Nico Brown. Colgate trainer out to tend to Troy Mupen. Mulligan seems to be walking off his little clip. Just a knock.
What's encouraging for Loyola is there's a lot of wing play on both sides of the field right now. I would encourage Nico Brown to just use his pace. Don't slow down. Try and make a move. Just ping it by him and get onto it.
A sub for the injured Troy Mupen, Bruno Scudari Jr., another local guy, Silver Spring, Maryland, went to Gonzaga College High School right here in Washington, D.C. One of the WCAC powerhouse high schools.
I'll tell you, Nico, you look out at the field and it is a 3-5-2 that Colgate's playing. Well, that's an impressive physical back line those three constitute.
Well, when you've got the Patriot League Defender of the Year as your true center back, and then you've got two other big guys back there along with them.
And they can all run as well.
You see a lot of teams shy away from that just because they don't have the guys with the pace
That's
to
right.
do it.
That's right.
Pagani called for the push off on Carlson.
You guys can't keep coming inside.
Loyola's starting to get a little bit of a handle on the game as opposed to earlier when the balls were bouncing around their box and they were struggling to clear them. So it's going to be imperative that Loyola presses in Colgate's end because they just can't afford anything back into their half. Anything out for a throw is going to be a problem for them.
Ball looking for Carlson, finds Oberg instead. Ethan Cutler now space in front of him. He wanted to pass to Pagani, but he recognized Pagani was offside. Stroud. Pagani, realizing he's not going to get there, decides to sit in instead.
Come on, Matthew!
You see, Nick, Ethan Cutler is not a true 9. He does come into the midfield, and he does look for the ball, and he's dangerous.
Well, I think if they had a few more options up top, they might even play him at the 10. But because he can really do it all. He can come back and get the ball. He does well with the ball at his feet. But the reason he's up top is he scores goals.
That's correct. He's a tremendously versatile player.
One of, if not the top player here in the Patriot League. Or as I like to call it sometimes, the other PL. Premier League, obviously, for the viewers at home.
Well, if you look at the back three, you would think those guys would look good in a Premier League shirt because they're three big boys. Good work by Colgate.
With the DC9 U23s, Oberg got to play against Southampton, so he's seen a little bit of action at the high level.
No, I think it's phenomenal that they have these opportunities because they come back to college and their level is so much higher.
So good by Zach Tomlin to drop off there. He thought about going in with Saramago and realized he wasn't going to get there. Nico Brown finally back up after an extended stay on the deck following a hard challenge. Batista cuts it for Carlson. Little 1-2 there with Sharifi. Carlson still at the ball at his feet. It's finally poked away.
You see Nico Vogel's all the way up the field. He's literally the winger right now. Sharifi exits the space. Vogel takes over.
Cutler almost taking that one off the feet of Ryan Tuck.
Loyola does a great job playing it out wide and trying to get down the flanks. Again, Vogel pushed up on the right side.
Tuck opens up. English native. Cutler turns and gets it up the line. Carlson with a good turn, but a good challenge by Tim Oberg. Cutler not on the same page with Oliver Harris. The pair of substitutions for the Greyhounds, as it's going to be Sam Carter, another Red Bull Academy guy, to come in as a center mid, and Josh Fawole stayed close to home, Baltimore native.
Sam Carter bringing a big physical presence in the midfield, trying to match up. Conditions are getting a little bit more difficult with the wind.
Vogel throwing on the right side. Carter, now Vogel again.
Saramago doing a great job of holding the ball up.
Mulligan too tall for that one. Set straight up in the air, test your touch.
Well done by Tomlin.
Counterattack could be on Pagani now, and it's just poked back to Sanchez. Pagani's still hot in pursuit. Vogel back to Batista. Plenty of space down the left side for the Greyhounds to switch, and they do. Carlson in. Little dinked ball. Carter. And coming across well, the the left mid, Harris. That's what's so important in a 3-5-2 system, is that your outside mids get back and help and defend, and Oliver Harris did very well with that just now.
Pagani and Cutler have to get back and set the line a little bit earlier.
Saramago's shot blocked.
Right now, Loyola's playing in behind those two. They have to come back if they're gonna park the bus a little bit. They got to make sure that they're back on their side of the field.
The no more from the official to Brian Saramago after he kicks out and clips Omar Maligian. Stroud, and that's going to go to the book. Late challenge and a yellow card. I believe that one went to Josh Fawole.
To Loyola's number 50, Barry Sharifi.
Unnecessary foul by Josh Fawole.
Josh Fawole.
He's got to keep his nose clean for the rest of the game. It's going to be difficult. I mean, that's his position where he's trying to win tackles, and just a really, really stupid foul, especially this early in the game, Nick.
17.5 remaining in the first half. Colgate still does lead 1-0 off that Ethan Cutler goal early on. He now holds 2 Patriot League tournament records, goals in a game with 3 against Army West Point. And as I mentioned, he is tied now for goals in a single game. Sanchez, he's tied now for goals in the tournament. Sanchez, Vogel can't get that one passed over, but it'll come right back to him. Carter turns against Cutler. Cutler called for the foul.
Saramago getting a little bit frustrated, looking for the ball way too deep. Needs to stay up top, pressed up against the center back.
And this game already getting a little physical. We just saw the yellow card, and we could be seeing another one somewhat soon with how chippy both teams are getting. They're going tick for tack with each challenge.
I like that in the sense that everyone understands what's at play here. You know, if you lose, you're out. So it is going to be chippy, and that's fine.
Very brave challenge by Fawole, who's on a yellow card and then comes tearing in with another slide challenge.
I'll tell you what, he's a lucky boy.
What you don't want to do in a do-or-die tournament game is go down to 10 men when you trail by a goal.
No, it'd be a disaster. So hopefully he can keep himself on the field.
Shane Castle into the game. Scored here on Reed's Field against the American University Eagles in the regular season. He'll replace Carlson. Cutler, fancy footwork from Cutler, battles his way through, and it's out for a goal kick.
Cutler's got great feet. Tiptoeing through.
Little left to right footwork as he makes his way through.
He's got great lateral movement, Cutler. You know, assuming that Colgate would have the, get a win here today. If they did, Cutler would be a handful for anybody in the NCAA tournament. I mean, he's a big-time dribbler of the ball. Very impressive. And I think Colgate, no matter who the opponent, obviously if they got through AU, it would be a difficult, challenge to deal with all those long throw-ins and knockdowns.
So back in your playing days, how much would you have liked to have had a guy like Ethan Cutler, up top with you and serving you balls over to the side?
That would be great. Just run off of him all day long, because he's going to find you in the gaps in behind.
Cutler again. Colgate still on the front foot. Little cut from Ethan Cutler. Puts it with his left foot right down, and an easy save for Sanchez.
Cutler's a real handful.
When you're saying about having somebody up top with him that he can find, I mean, you've got Zach Pagani up there. They did sub Pagani out. Now it's Abdel Sanugo.
Well, Sanugo's going to play into space, and Cutler's going to look to dink him in behind the back four.
Substitution for the Greyhounds.
But when Cutler comes out of the 9 spot into the midfield, they've got to come with him, because you can't allow him to turn and get at you with the ball.
Number 19.
And Jonathan Sosa coming into the game. He's going to send Vogel out to left back, Sosa right back. Ryan Tuck a little fired up with his team for not winning the ball off that throw-in.
Oberg is just such a solid player, connecting from both sides of the field.
Well, as you mentioned, a true 6, able to get in anywhere. Shot and a good save, but another great opportunity. Now cleared away, as it was Morrison for Colgate to take that second shot.
Oberg with another great challenge. Carter with a great ball wide.
Sosa. Oberg with the interception. Loyola bench telling Sosa he needs to head check and know the players around him because he got the ball taken off his feet there and answered by fouling. Cutler cuts it back. Still maintains possession. Play on, says the referee. He saw it, but he's going to allow play to go on. Fawole down the left side. Fawole again. Ball played behind Vogel. He's able to collect it before it goes out. Mulligan able to get a little something on that. Shot from distance, just past the post, Sam Carter.
Carter with a great strike from distance.
Well, he's a big boy, but he is mobile. A reminder, you're watching today's contest on the Patriot League Network on Campus Insiders. Carter wins that header.
Yeah, it's a good substitution, getting Carter in the midfield just to tighten it up a little bit. Able to match up with some of the big boys.
Sosa. Castle.
The wind is really an issue right now.
Well, as you see, no choice but to have some good pass and combination play here because you can't go Route 1 anymore.
No.
Options left and right, sends it left to Cutler. Ethan Cutler tried for a little bit of a fake shot, but lost his touch there. Service into the box, low and driven. And they're going to send it back across face goal. Shot from distance and a good save there. It was Bruno Scudari with the left-footed strike. Sanchez equal to it.
Great job by Colgate of getting it wide and just smashing it in the box. You're not looking to pick anybody out in that situation. You're looking for the bodies, once the containment's broken on the outside, to just tear into the box. And Colgate does a great job of that.
Sosa, tons of space in front. Sends it wide, looking for Saramago, who can't quite get to Tom in there first.
Tommen, incredibly impressive physical specimen. But he's very, very good at the center back position. He understands how to cover, and he understands how to use his body.
That, however, is not what you want to see, is your captain getting into a verbal altercation with another player. You want your captain to be kind of the guy that's fiery but knows when to pick his battles.
That's right. I think at this point, Loyola has to be a little bit frustrated. And you keep their cool, get back in the game.
Good service there, cut out by O'Neal. Castle's gonna send this one back to Vogel. Lauren Vogel. Very Sharifi. Sosa sends the ball to about a half dozen Colgate players.
That's about the third in a row. And I'm not sure that's going to work against those big boys at the back. So Loyola's got to find a way through. So about 8 minutes left in the half. Loyola is really going to be scrambling to get this goal in and get tied up for the half. And Colgate will be looking for a counter and get that knockout punch.
And the referee already with his card out before he even goes over. Castle had a hard challenge. I think they're both going to go on the book. So Uyum Maragbe in the book for the Raiders and Shane Castle for the Greyhounds, but it'll be a free kick, Loyola. Excuse me, it's Sonogo who received the yellow for the Raiders.
Well, again, Loyola is desperate to get in at the half 1-1 because the wind conditions have now shifted, and Colgate's going to have the wind in the second half, which is conducive to long balls and, you know, anything into the box, they'll knock it down. So, interesting to see the last 8 minutes of this half.
Header on, still ball in the box. Shane Castle, something to prove now after receiving the yellow card, cuts it back and out for a corner.
This is better by Loyola, sustained period of pressure, forcing Colgate to scramble it away.
Sharifi and Castle both over to it.
By number 11, Barry Sharifi.
Good service by Sharifi, headed away. But it went out first, goal kick.
Somewhat unexcusable. Got to get that ball in play if you're Sharifi. Give your players a chance to attack it.
Substitution now for the Raiders, Freddie Johnson.
Number 10, Freddie Johansson. Freddie Johnson, rather, replaces number 14, Ethan Cutler.
And Freddie Johnson's a big boy. He's a great target player. He'll hold it up for Colgate. Cutler gets a well-deserved rest.
And I think this is just the classic, give him 20 rather than 15.
Again, strong Johansson in the hold-up play. And that's what they're looking to do. Get into his feet, get him fouled, and then they get another opportunity for a knockdown in the box.
Get the big boys up. Umaligian in, Janssen in,
I'm committing silly foul.
and Carl Brown also sent up. Two of the three center backs. That's how you know they have a lot of faith in Zach Tomlin.
That's exactly right. Tomlin is back there just marshalling anything that comes out.
Good service. Brown. Second header. Swing and a miss there by Sonogo. Sharifi.
And it's textbook what Colgate's doing right now to Loyola. They're fighting, they're battling, they're making all these little scrappy situations, and Colgate's just going to dump it in there, and they're going to try and pick up the scraps.
Right-footed in-swinger from just about level with the box. Low and driven, cleared away by Vogel. And handball called. Colin O'Neal.
Colin O'Neal's got to play a better ball in. It's got to cut out the first defender.
Long Tomlin up. Fawole for the Greyhounds. Josh Fawole, double teamed, finds his way out, finds some space. Fawole with a cross, and no one there for it.
Great ball by Falale. Saramago asking, appealing for another player to get in the box to help him out.
Well, he's absolutely right. I mean, he's in there, but where's the guy making the back post run? Sharifi, Carter now. Oberg cuts that one out. Good little footwork by Tim Oberg outside the football to Janssen.
Oberg doing a great job in the middle of the park.
Looks like we've had a little bit of a midfield switch for the Raiders as well. It looks like Oberg's gone from the 6 to right up underneath the 2 forwards. Appeals for a foul. Never going to get that one.
And again, silly foul, giving Colgate another opportunity to dump something in the box and pick up the scraps. I'll tell you what, Nick, the pace of this game has continued at a high level. 3 minutes left in the half.
Early goal by the Raiders inside the first 15. Still the difference. Ethan Cutler, the goal scorer on that one. For the latest news and stories on the Patriot League, you can follow the Patriot League on Twitter at Patriot League. O'Neill's right-footed service. Janssen across the face of goal. Umaligian almost there for it, but a good save by Sanchez. Counterattack could be on now. Vogel to Fawole. Fawole in and cut out by Tommen. Sharifi sends it wide to Sosa. Barry Sharifi. Good combination play. Carter shot, and Ricky Brown right to his hands like it was a warm-up.
Wow, Carter. Great strike by Carter. I'm not sure how much Ricky Brown knew about that, but he was in the right spot for sure.
If that had any curve or dip on it, that one probably would have been being picked up right now by Ricky Brown out of the back of the net.
No question.
But right to his hands. And Warburton into the match for the Greyhounds, and will replace Batista.
But Carter's definitely made an impression since he's come on. Obviously, the Loyola staff noticed some type of correction needed to be made, and Carter's made quite a good impression.
Left for Saramago, taken off his feet by Tommen. Sosa. Shane Castle with a minute left in the half. Carter can't fight his way through that challenge. Sosa, tons of space, and he's just going to take this one line. Sends it forward for Carter. Whoa! And the penalty kick. Sam Carter knows he won it, got in a good spot, and Tommen couldn't get to the spot first.
Sam Carter, such a smart play. Knows he's going to get clipped. Takes the foul. Penalty kick and a great diagonal run, and Sosa made a nice ball in behind the back four. Played Carter open. Carter knew he was going to get clipped. Got himself in the box. Penalty.
It's going to be Saramago over to take it, settling the sand where there's a little bit of a divot. And Ricky Brown doing walkabouts back and forth as he gets ready to face the first penalty kick he's seen yet this tournament. Saramago. A shot and a goal! And it is level inside a minute. 1-1 the score.
And we talked about Loyola desperate to get on the scoreboard before the half, especially with the wind conditions changing for them in the second half. Textbook. Great goal by Sarmago.
Calm and collected and placed easily to the left side.
I think Ricky Brown may have gotten a piece of it, but it was played with so much pace it wasn't going to stay out.
It was also played at that awkward height that's next to impossible to save. Sanchez grabbing that one right at the edge of the 18.
So you have to think, Nick, when you go into halftime, the psychology of the game now, Loyola is just fired up, and Colgate's got to feel hard done. And it's going to be up to the coaching staffs to get them sorted out and let them know that, hey, it's a 1-1 game, you know, even though they've worked hard,
10,
they're giving up a bad goal here at the end.
8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
And at halftime, it's all knotted up after that late first half goal by Brian Saramago from the spot. We'll take a quick break, be back after this. Capitalist Bruce Murray back here on the Patriot League Network after halftime. 1-1 still the score. As I said before, the late goal by Brian Saramago from the spot, sending it into halftime, all knotted up. As you were saying, as we were talking about during the break, that all the momentum has shifted now.
Oh, it's shifted for sure. You know, the two guys we expected to score have scored. Obviously, the shots are pretty, somewhat equal. Shots on goal, equal. Saves. It's a good game, but it's going to be a really difficult game for Colgate now psychologically, going in 1 minute left in the half and giving up a bad penalty. So we'll have to wait and see how they rebound. Really up to the coaching staff to get them on the right page psychologically.
And as you were saying, the guys we were talking about before the game were the ones to get on the score sheet and expect Colgate to still keep trying to go to Ethan Cutler, as he really is the main man.
There's no question. Cutler's very shifty, intelligent player. I could see Cutler playing at another level at some point in his career. So we'll wait and see how things play out here today. But so far, it's been a phenomenal semifinal. Just like the last one, it's going to come down to the wire, it looks like.
As the sun slowly does begin to set, what kind of challenges do you think this is going to present for Loyola and for Matt Sanchez facing into this setting sun?
Yeah, I think it's going to be somewhat difficult for him. The sun's going to come down here shortly, and it's going to be very, very difficult for his eye sign. But, veteran goalkeeper. If he needs to, he'll probably grab a hat or something like that. But the wind seems to have shifted again. I know I keep talking about the wind and the conditions, but it's shifted more favorably toward Colgate at this point.
Wide early to Vogel.
Vogel, very versatile player. Started the game on the right side. Now he's shifted over to the left.
Jump way too early for Sharifi, who's settled into a little bit deeper of a role now. And this is something the Colgate coaching staff was talking about, or excuse me, the Loyola coaching staff was talking about, starting out in a 4-3-3, maybe shifting to a 4-4-2, and a good ball in. Saramago can't quite put it away.
Yeah, Brown does a great job getting down the line, squares it back. Saramago do a little bit better with that, but good positive start from Loyola in the second half.
And it does look like it's gone to, it might still be staying at a 4-3-3. It's kind of hard to tell right now. They've been moving it around a little bit formation-wise. Batista, who started as center back, definitely sitting right in front. Goal kick now for Ricky Brown. Vogel climbs well.
Powerful header by Vogel.
Nico Brown, one-on-one, takes Umligian outside. He's gonna have to send this one back to Vogel. Takes a little too long to release it and is forced to go all the way back to the center back.
see Batista actually staying with Cutler all the way back into the midfield. So it almost might be a situation where they've determined that somebody's going to mark Cutler and then play a 10-man system around that. Wouldn't surprise me. Cutler's that shifty.
Well, that's what they said they did to him last year. And the first touch not quite on for Morrison. Vogel. And this one's going to go all the way back now to Paleo. Not quite sure what the call is here.
I want to go back to the earlier header by Vogel, where he just steamed right through the player. That's a statement header that you're going to be looking over your shoulder the rest of the game. Vogel's a tough kid and tremendous in the air.
Get to him, Lauren! Get to him, Lauren!
Ligon gonna watch that one out. Goal kick.
And you're right, Nick. The sun is really starting to become a factor as it sets.
Well, these later afternoon games, the Eagles always do, when it's American playing here, the Eagles pick to put the away keeper facing into the sun. So I have to almost think that maybe Colgate won the coin toss and considered that today.
Possibly.
Long ball by Carlson. Tommen just got to hit that one away.
Tommen just looks like a professional defender to me. He's got pace, he's a great tackler, and he's got good instincts.
Cutler one-on-one now with Vogel. Ethan Cutler serves it in. Good ball, and just a little bit too much on it for Sonogo.
Sonogo's got to do just a little bit more to get across the defender there at the near post. Cutler played a perfect ball.
Think ball out to Vogel. Long Vogel driving with purpose. Ball in just behind Barry Sharifi. Carlson gets the second ball. Sosa. Sharifi. Batista wide to Vogel. Carlson's going to send this one back to Paleo. Batista.
Loyola's starting to get a grip on the game. A lot of possession through the midfield.
A step over by Carlson. Play on, says the referee. Outside the football, looking for Fawole.
Help him out, help him out.
The one in the middle, Sharifi. Barry Sharifi. Saramago has it taken off his feet. Ethan Cutler runs right through that challenge. Ethan Cutler with space in front. Big touch, Cutler in! And Cutler ran out of real estate. He had Sonogo wide. He could have played him early. Opted to take it himself.
Cutler on a brilliant run. Just one poor touch at the end of the run let him down. But boy, Cutler has such a dynamic way about him, running at players with the ball.
And not enough real estate there for Moragbe.
Young players need to understand this, Nick. It's not so much about the moves you make sometimes as opposed to just unbalancing you and making you uncomfortable. Cutler's that player. He runs at you with the ball. There's nothing really fancy about it, and then he's past you.
I think often what happens is they try to make it look nice, but what looks nice is when the other keeper's picking the ball up out of the back of the net.
That's correct.
Tommen. Brown. Maragbe cuts it back for Oberg.
Tremendous crossfield ball by Oberg.
Great pressure by Vogel, though. Numbers in favor of the Greyhounds. Carlson sends this one to Nico Brown. Vogel to Saramago. Ball in, looking for the feet of Sharif. He can't find anyone. Vogel shot from distance, wide of the post.
Good effort by Vogel. It's worth a go. Well, doing a great job of connecting the field.
Nico, both brain in the half spaces, yeah? Be quiet. Here we go, Red!
All the players putting their hands up to shield them from the setting sun.
Carlson. Powerful run by Carlson. Saramago in front, shot from distance. Carlson, it was just about 2 feet wide.
Saramago did a great job of pulling wide, a drag run. Defender went out with Saramago, opened up the middle. Carlson unfortunately didn't hit it the way he wanted to, but it was really good tactical play by Saramago. It opened up for Carlson all of a sudden, but there was a reason for it, and Saramago was the reason. Great job.
Ricky Brown sends it long. And a push by Umaragbe. Ball, Carl Brown just gonna shield that one out. Goal kick. Talked a little bit earlier about Vogel going in for those. Challenge for that one well.
Well, the game feels like it's slowed down, Nick, just a little bit. I'm sure we're going to have another flurry again, but the players are kind of taking stock, trying to figure out what they're going to need to do to get over the hump here.
Cutler, shot from distance, shot well wide.
And it's worth it. You know, Cutler's a guy that can really hit a bomb. So, you know, you give him 3 or 4 of those, one of them he's going to get on target. So anytime he has that opportunity.
Well, when you've got a guy like that that can shoot from 25 yards out, you give him the green light.
Green light all day long. He's really been an impressive player today.
Forward. Kaleo heads that one away, but finds Tim Oberg for the Raiders. Oberg cuts it back. Maragbe with a poor first touch, but able to get Umaligian. Scudari forward for Cutler. Cutler still with the ball at his feet, and him and Scudari, miscommunication. Now it's Nico Brown with tons of space in front of him. Nico Brown charging at pace for Wole in front. Josh Wole. Long cross and out for a goal kick. hard to tell whether he was trying to shoot from there or if he was just trying to serve it in.
I think he was trying to get his foot around it. Unfortunately, Brown played him out wide, forcing him to come back in.
Ricky Brown, driven ball, flicked on. A slip by Vogel, but it finds Carlson anyway.
That's really good work by Batista.
Nico Brown, fancy footwork, gets it inside to Barry Sharifi, and Maligian with the tackle. Batista.
Begging the referee, asking him, please, don't give me a yellow card. I didn't mean to do it. But like every good center back, he doesn't mean to kick people.
You heard Cutler near us say, it's got to be.
Cutler looking for the card. The cat and mouse game between forwards and fullbacks.
Driven to no one. Right to Sanchez's feet. He's going to wait to pick this one up till he's pressed and has to. Handball. Old chicken wing there. Saramago put his hands up saying that was my shoulder, and the ref saying, I didn't see your shoulder over there. Skadari back to Legion. Another hospital ball, but Carlson can't quite get to it.
Both teams trying to figure out what they need to do. Right now the game's slowing down quite a bit. Some poor play, giveaway.
Send it over the top. Ethan Cutler, keeper off his line, has to head it away. And that's a huge save by Sanchez as he comes off his line, heads that one out.
Sanchez had to be so aware with that through ball in. Cutler putting all the pressure on Sanchez, playing it as a field player. Almost a little bit like Manuel Neuer at Bayern Munich. Tremendous defensive play. Maybe that's one of the reasons Sanchez is the Patriot goalkeeper of the year.
Well, when you've got a guy that can do what Ethan Cutler can do, you don't want to give him that opportunity because he'll chip you, he'll put it around you, he'll do something. So right decision to come off his line and head it clear, a little sweeper keeper roll.
Incredible.
Back Carlson, shot from distance blocked by O'Neal. Can't get it clear. Barry Sharifi dinks it. Keeper does well, comes and grabs that one off the head of Nico Brown.
Ricky Brown with a great play. Dangerous. You see Cutler on the ball in the midfield. It's amazing the number of positions Cutler has found himself in today.
And he manages to get it in the box while falling. That's just incredible.
He's got a free roll. And with a player like Cutler, a talented player like that, you got to give a guy like that a free roll. Everyone else is covering for him. But Cutler, boy, that guy's got so much skill in different positions. He can hold it up as a 9. He can distribute, facilitate as a 10. He can come back in the midfield and hold it up for you. Get out wide and get at people. He's one of the more impressive players I've seen this year, college-wise.
Multiple changes for both teams.
Keep an eye on Carter going in for Loyola. Obviously, Carter drawing the penalty to even the score.
Just a workhorse, Sam Carter. Came in, as we said, he offers some size to the lineup. He also offers some pace and some determination. O'Neal called for obstruction there, free kick.
It's a dangerous situation now. I would think direct strike a goal from Loyola.
Second ball's for the order. If you don't dare, you drop. Right? You yourself around the 14.
I almost wouldn't hate to see a run over and utilize all that space on the right wing.
Yeah, there's quite a bit of space, but the percentages tell you just go ahead and go for it from here. Strike on target, rebound, anything can happen.
Right about 28 yards out, the free kick. Sharifi and Saramago over it. Sharifi shoots it into the wall.
Didn't look convincing, like he really wanted to have a go on goal there.
Sosa with a strong challenge.
Good defensive work from Sosa.
Played into the feet of Goldsmith. Vogel now.
Hold it, turn. Time, mate, time.
Kaleo. Big tackle by Tim Oberg, just poking it away, but can't maintain possession.
Step inside a little bit. Step inside, Lauren.
O'Neal hits that one away. Just to Sam Carter of the Greyhounds, though. Shane Castle now. Shot from distance easy for Ricky Brown.
Oberg reminds me so much of a newly retired player, DC United, Davey Arnaud, 14-year veteran, just gets himself all over the field. He's that type of player. He throws himself into the dirty stuff.
I think this year the PL could set some PL records possibly for guys that they have taking it to the next level. There's really some talent.
There is no question. I see quite a few players in this league that will have some type of career in MLS.
Substitution for the Raiders. Number 16, Zach Pagani replaces number 9.
Zach Pagani back into the game. And to replace Sonogo. Pagani did get the nod from the coaching staff and Eric Running, who received his 100th win earlier this season. Ligon up. Kaleo called for the foul.
And not necessarily a bad foul by Kaleo. It just lets them know that I'm here. I'll be here all day.
Well, that's what you want your center backs to do, go hammer forwards, and that's exactly what he went and did.
Yeah.
Stroud now over the ball for the free kick.
Stroud looking to play this in over the back. The overhit it better than to underhit it.
Flicked on, tons of space, but just a little bit too far from Cutler. But Ethan Cutler now up against Lauren Vogel. Second service, Sanchez off his line, easy for him. Shane Castle looking to get the counterattack started.
Great distribution from Sanchez.
And a wasteful opportunity. Two guys out left, and they send it to the one guy in the middle.
Tomlin makes a great job back there sweeping it up.
Quality ball to find Ethan Cutler. Service by Cutler. And another claim by Sanchez. 23 and a half remaining here in the second half. Still knotted up at 1.
And both teams are trying to search for what they want to do right now. They're just kind of playing, and there's no real emphasis on what they're trying to do.
Great first touch by Cutler, and a great idea to get it into Stroud, but not quite able to get there. Goldsmith, Sharifi now. Lauren Vogel inside to Goldsmith, tries to dink it through, can't do so, and a good tackle by Tim Oberg, and Stroud now wins a free kick.
Oberg, the engine of the midfield for Colgate.
Right, you got it, Brian. You got to come central there. Let double bury this guy.
Kept alive. And if that's a better ball, it's dangerous. Zach Pagani, though. Now Tim Oberg. Swings out wide. Stroud. Play on, says the referee. And a goal kick. That's one of those situations he played advantage, but I don't think there was really much advantage to be had.
There was no advantage at the end of the day, but that's one where the referee got unlucky because he tried to do the right thing, but it didn't end up helping anybody. To be fair, Nick, it's been a well-refereed match.
Very. I think, I'm sure the coaches from both sides would have other comments, though, as coaches always do. Up for a corner kick.
Big boys going up for Loyola.
Substitution.
Colgate sitting in all 11, too, not even electing to leave Cutler up top. They're going to send him back to mark someone. Fawole in to replace Nico Brown. Perry Sharifi played short. Goldsmith. Second ball in. Oberg comes tearing through to clear that one away. Oberg, not an imposing guy, about 5'9", but he came up big and fought his way through some traffic.
We've called Oberg's name so many times today. Just a tremendous game, still with 20 minutes left in the game. What a stamp he's put on this game.
Good turn by Fawole, and a good challenge there. Flag stays down because the man on the touchline, Fawole looks to cut it back, and cleared away finally by O'Neill. Back heel finds Vogel. Class ball by Sam Carter. And a substitution now.
Substitution for
This is going to be
for 3.
Scudari to come back into the game.
Replaces number 7.
So we'll replace Umaragbe.
Well, 19 minutes to go. One of the sides has got to figure out what they want to do and go for it. Because right now, it's just kind of meandering around the game, and there's no real thought behind it. But I would say in the next 4 or 5 minutes, one of the teams is going to make a determination what they want to do and try and come win this game.
Well, one goal will likely be enough to do it at the tempo this game's been going.
Agreed.
Colgate 2-5-0 as the number 3 seed. And one of those coming from the other night. Pagani! And a goal for the Colgate Raiders! Pagani puts it in with the outside of the boot.
What a goal by Pagani! Held this man off. Defender got on the wrong side of Pagani. Pagani did a great job of sealing him off and then hammers it right past Sanchez. What a tremendous goal by Pagani. Professional finish.
That's determination at its finest. He found a way around and the outside of the boot. Sanchez wasn't quite ready for that one. And the Raiders are now on top 2-1. As we were saying a moment ago, it might be enough to make the difference.
Now, Loyola's going to have to do something now. They're going to have to commit some players forward, maybe even open things more up for Pagani and Cutler up top for Colgate. But Pagani, that was a professional finish, Nick. The way he sealed him off, and the only thing the defender could have done is fouled him for a penalty. So Pagani's a tremendous, tremendous play.
Came into this tournament 1-5-0 as the number 3 seed, and they look to make it 3-5-0 if they're able to maintain this 1-goal lead. Cutler now. Attack still on, but a bobbled touch by Ethan Cutler.
Goal scored by number 16, Zach Pagani. Assisted by number 5, Jared Stroud. Substitution for the Greyhounds, number 8.
I think you got to go to the book for that one.
I think so. I mean, just stupid reaching out, 2 hands.
Yeah, I think they're both going to get summoned over. We might see our second double yellow of the game. First one going against Shane Castle and Umaragbe.
The referee may just try and get things calmed down here and give everyone a fighting chance to get in with 11 players. That would be good refereeing in my opinion.
Just a quick cut it out, no more.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what it'll be. And now he's going to go to the book. And the Colgate fans all up and applauding.
He's not done yet, Nick.
Yellow card has been issued to Loyola's number 9, Brian Saramago.
Saramago, the one to receive the yellow card.
Yeah, frustration card for Saravago. He needs to keep his head in the game right now. It's 15 minutes to go. Great players make great plays late in the game. That's what Saravago has to think about right now.
And I think some of that might just be youthful inexperience. I mean, he is a freshman, and he is the kind of guy who could potentially not be used to this type of situation. You said earlier he has played at a high level, and I very much agree with that. But at the same time, that can be a little bit of a tough thing to come into your first tournament as a team and your first tournament as a player and have a little bit of frustration down a goal with right about 15 minutes left.
Yeah, good points all, Nick.
Cutler. Colgate seems to be energized from that goal. Ethan Cutler. We've seen him.
Smart player.
We've seen him everywhere. Stroud now shot. Falls for Scudari. And he's going to send this one back to Stroud. A little bit surprised not to see that one called, just for the fact that Sam Carter even put his hands up saying, I know I got him. Carter barrels his way through. Looks wide for Fawole. Desperate challenge by a couple of center backs and O'Neal, who's almost there as much as Oberg, but
Fawole dangerous on the edge. Twice he could have been brought down for a penalty there. Colgate living dangerously.
Quarter kick for the Greyhounds, taken by number 8.
that challenge by Umaligi, and that's a certain card if he makes any contact too. Good service, cleared away by Umaligi.
Card and a penalty.
Cutler sends this one on for Stroud. Stroud, tons of space in front. One-on-one with the keeper. Sosa coming across, and Sosa wins it well. Back to Sanchez.
So you can see Loyola, Nick, has to come out now. They commit numbers forward. Sosa did a great job of sweeping up there, or it would have been Curtis.
Into the flow. That was great ball, great.
Boy.
Sosa ran that man down from 40 yards away on the other side of the field. Those are the kind of things to win games you have to do.
Send it forward and let somebody run onto Pagani and chase, but it's going to be Sanchez well off his line to send that one up to Tuck. Ethan Cutler. Another thing I love about Cutler's game, he never rushes.
He always makes good decisions, and he doesn't rush, as you say. But if you think about it, Nick, we've seen Cutler everywhere on the field today.
Play on, says the referee, as Cutler swings it wide.
I think we're going to see Cutler at another level at some point here shortly.
I think that's a pretty safe bet as well.
Yeah, you know.
Keep working, kid. Keep working. Ryan, help us.
Speaking of DC United, he kind of reminds me almost of a Patrick Mullins type striker.
Yeah.
Gets into the right spot, always seems to make the right decision.
Sure.
Batista, Sosa touches around a defender. Forward, and Tommen cleans it up.
Sam, move, Sam.
Batista with a weak pass, and Cutler now.
Cutler's such a good player.
Well, 1-2 now by Ethan Cutler. Stroud down the left side. Good run. Service in. Too much for Pagani. Shot a goal! What a goal! Jared Stroud. No one thought that one was going in. And just like that, it's 3-1 Colgate.
The question now becomes, did Stroud try and cross that, or did he shoot it? Because if he shot it, that's as good as it gets.
If he shot that, that's perfection at its finest. Like, that's an unbelievable strike. If it was a cross, he still was put it into a great area and caught Sanchez sleeping.
Wow. One of the better goals you're ever going to see in a college game. And going back to the conference, what I would say, Nick, is anybody that watched American University play the University of Maryland, consensus #1 team in the country, knew that AU was the better team on the night. So this conference is on the rise, and it's impressive.
Well, a lot of people used to accuse the Patriot League of being kind of a kick-and-run type conference where it was just sent up high and let guys run onto it. But it's really developing into a conference where they're actually going to play some quality football. Pagani holding off Batista. And Ober getting it forward, and a foul called against Loyola.
And the unselfish hard work and determination of Pagani there. That's the kind of thing you have to do to win games, see games out. The little things, the pros, hard yards they call them. Impressed by Pagani.
Colgate was first in the regular season a year ago and hosted the Patriot League tournament, and now they look to get retribution for that one. They were put out in the semifinal last year by the Lehigh Mountain Hawks, and this year they're looking for vengeance and getting back to that Patriot League final that they think they should have gotten into a year ago.
If this scoreline holds up, the final, American with their striking talent and Colgate with their impressive talent, this could be a heck of a final on Sunday, if it holds up.
Stroud, oh! And O'Neal stays down. It was a hard foul by O'Neal.
Drop to the floor, then no one touches, embarrassing. Alright, again, lads, but I hope you're taking note.
And tensions are running high, and I think just about everyone could have earned themselves a card, but I don't like. It's just a matter of who's going to be the instigators in the situation.
really stupid as a player. You got to get away from these situations.
160 yards away. That's excellent.
It makes no sense.
I think it should be whoever knocked down O'Neal as well as O'Neal. I think O'Neal deserves one for that initial challenge, but also
So,
the
exactly.
reckless
Yeah.
decision to run right into him.
There's a red card.
Embarrassing from you. That's embarrassing, you coward.
And it will be Nico Brown sent off.
Card has been issued to Loyola's number 7.
There's never, for young players, you're never going to change the opinion of the referee. You're never going to get anything by knocking a player down. All you're going to do is cause grief to your team and to yourself. Makes no sense. It's a hard thing to now of course, now we've got all kinds of extras going on the far side.
Walk away. You do your job. You watch the game. Hey, good quality. Let's go. Right, so that's shocking. 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 That's a 5.
Coaching staff, I think, has to get all the players calmed down here. It's important because young players, emotions get in the way.
Just under 12 minutes, and that red card could be the dagger for the Loyola Maryland Greyhounds.
Yeah, it was a Brown with a stupid red card, but he'll learn from that, as you always do as a player.
Vogel, good service. Ricky Brown punches, somehow climbs to that one.
Ricky Brown's been impressive tonight.
That very well could have been called as a penalty. Took out the feet of the Loyola forward.
Vogel pushing forward. Loyola committing numbers. Very vulnerable to the counter at this point.
That one rides through. A couple defenders threw a leg out at it with no conviction.
5, 6, 7, 8.
Tuck now. And Tommen gets in the right spot perfectly.
Now, I'm telling you, Nick, I've seen enough of Tommen to tell you somebody's going to take a chance on him in the draft in January. Hasn't put a foot wrong as a defender all day.
Clock stopped.
He's got pace. He's tough. Makes good decisions. And like any good center back, he's not afraid to kick somebody every once in a while. So he looks like a real pro.
Late challenge as Tommen the one to win that free kick for his team as they look to see out this 3-1 lead. They were clearly looking for vengeance from that 1-0 defeat to the Loyola Maryland Greyhounds in the last couple weeks of the season.
And that was a game where Sanchez made 4 or 5 acrobatic saves to keep the win for them. So,
well, they needed him to do that today, and he didn't quite come up the same way he came up a week ago or 2 weeks ago.
yeah, Picani's goal was just phenomenal.
I mean, you talk a lot about the great strike by Stroud, but I think Pagani's goal really was the difference maker.
It was a professional goal, and the way he sealed off the defender.
Big strong chest of Carter, and Oberg called for the foul. Definite handball there, and they will get the call. The question is it on the edge of the area or is it inside?
Well, if you're Colgate, it's on the edge. If you're Loyola, it's on the inside. But I think it could have got on either way. But
Decision is just outside the box.
it's a difficult take here, Nick, because there isn't a whole lot of time to get the ball up over the wall and down under the bar. So it may be something where there's a little misdirection here.
Ricky Brown has been known to stay a little too tight to his near post, though, a little too close inside the wall. So a good left-footed strike would be enough for it, but it's going to be the right-footed Barry Sharifi.
That was well hit by Sharifi.
Went to the far post.
I'm not sure how much Ricky Brown actually knew about that.
As I said, Ricky Brown sometimes does have a little bit of a habit getting caught a little too close, tight into the wall, and leaving that far post open. If there was a left footer for that, that would have been the way to go.
Well, if that was on target, it would have gone in the far corner there because Ricky Brown wasn't anywhere near it. They may need to work on that or look at that at the film for the final on Sunday.
Big slip by O'Neal.
But you have to be impressed, Nick, with when the game first started, we thought that Colgate was a knockdown, long throw-in Route 1 team. But they've surprised us here in the second half with the really nice football they've been playing. Would you agree?
Oh, absolutely. The second half's been a completely different game for both teams. I think they almost switched roles. We saw Loyola playing it through very early on, and now they're, especially after that second goal, it got kind of desperation. Let's hit it over the top.
Well, teams that can play both ways like that are very successful teams. So if Colgate is, they can do that, which we've seen they can, they're a dangerous team. American really, if obviously they win and get out of this semifinal, Americans gonna have some real film study to do because this team can play two different ways.
Just very clever pressure by Cutler, forces all the way back to Batista. And that ball threw everyone. A good ball there by Batista.
So what Colgate's got to do now is, obviously, Loyola's going to try and get it wide and whip it in the box. The forwards are really important right now. They have to chase that down and deny service from these long diagonal positions. It's going to be interesting to see the last 7 minutes how that works out.
Side volley by Ricky Brown. Miscommunication between O'Neal and Oberg. Cut back by Carter. Vogel. Stroud, big touch forward, and a good tackle by the substitute that came on earlier, Sam Carter, who is the only reason Loyola has a goal on the board right now.
Yeah, big Sam Carter's had quite a game for himself. Doesn't look the tippy-toe type player, but he's got good feet for a big man.
I think he could be a center back in another life, but he is a center mid.
Yeah,
Stay wide, Bart, stay wide, stay high.
Saramago deep now.
And that's not where you want to see Saramago if you're Steve Nickel. You need him as far up as he can, especially maybe even can draw another center back up against the last player.
Well, he's a true number 9, and
you can't come hunting for the ball, especially late in the game like this. He needs to be up.
well, especially not when you're chasing it 2 goals down and a man down.
Essentially, Loyola's playing with 2 backs. So counters on if they want it, but they may just decide to go to corners now and kill the game off.
Send it to Cutler. Ethan Cutler wins a corner, and this is a great position to be in. Win the corner, kill off some time by the corner flag.
Number 7, Lee Omarante. For the Greyhounds, number 22, Shane Castle replaces number 32, Lawrence.
Shane Castle back into the game for Vogel, as it looks like they're going to send another guy forward.
Nick, how impressed are we by Taman today?
Taman has been
just
incredible.
A beast at the back. I mean, just a rock. Hasn't been beaten once. And that may be a little bit of experience. The freshman now coming up against a player like Taman, and he'll learn from this. Saramago.
Sanchez sends that one up. Ball looking in for Pagani again, who just gets in a good spot. Big Zach Pagani has the game winner as it stands.
Yeah, but Stroud has the one to talk about. Now, if he's a good player, he's never going to tell anybody if that was a cross or a shot. I'm going to have to ask him after the game. And now, Colgate doing a great job of letting the clock expire.
Played back. Tim Oberg now.
Yeah, it's going to go all the way back. That's a stupid challenge again.
And another yellow card. This time to Sharifi.
Yellow card's been issued to Loyola's number 11, Barry Sharifi.
I think the referees have done a pretty good job. It's gotten a little chippy, but I think they've kept things under control for the most part. You can understand the disappointment in Loyola. I'd like to see them play with a little more class.
Well, this is the kind of game they sometimes play, especially when they are chasing a game, is it gets physical, it gets chippy, and that's what we've seen here. That's why they're down a man, to be honest.
That's right.
Pagani. Send it over the top. Zach Pagani in one-on-one. Pagani looking for his brace. Pagani in an early dive by Sanchez. He looked to slip, but Pagani just played it right to him. That's shocking after the first goal we saw him score. Loyola cut out.
This is like a completely different unit for Colgate this half. The way they're playing is phenomenal. Pagani would like to have that back, but at the same time, we just need to kill some time, is what Colgate's saying to themselves. So he won't be too upset.
10 shots on goal for the Raiders to only 5 for Loyola. Clock stopped.
That's a pretty good strike rate. 3 goals, 10 shots.
And very well could have been 4.
Yeah, should have been 4.
Out for a goal kick. As it stands, it will be American Colgate in the final. That it will be Sunday at 1 p.m. And you can join us here at Reed Field or back here on the Patriot League Network on Campus Insiders. Tuck pokes that one away.
Well, Nick, you really have to call this a convincing victory for Colgate. Surprised us that they were able to play 2 different ways in the same game. But this is a team that's going to be dangerous. American University has got to, as a host, obviously looking to get a victory in the final. They've got to be a little worried about what they've seen here tonight. I'm seeing Coach Todd West and his staff up there watching. I know Todd quite well, and I'm sure he's taking notes, making sure, figuring out how ways he can stop Pagani and Cutler.
Well, the thing is the Eagles can't play like they did today against Bucknell, against this Colgate team. They were terrible in the first half. They played very well in the second half, but playing well for a half isn't going to be good enough against Colgate.
It's not going to be good enough to beat this group from what we've seen here today.
The Eagles looking for their first conference title since '04. And in their 13th appearance, 9th consecutive, 19th appearance, and 5 titles for Colgate. They've done a lot more recently in 2011.
That's impressive.
Conference is in its 26th year, and they've won 5 of the conference titles. That's saying something right there.
Absolutely.
Cutler.
10, 9, 8, 7,
and Sosa.
6,
with a foul, and that will be the last action of the match. Final score here from Reeves Field in the second semifinal: Colgate 3, Loyola 1. The 2 seed falls to the 3. For all of us here at the Patriot League Network, with the final score 3-1, I'm Nick Papadis saying so long. See you on Sunday back here on the Patriot League Network.